Good evening, all of you. I'm Asmita Marathe. I welcome you all to today's session, that is role of energy auditors and managers and their career opportunity. I sincerely thanks Institution of Engineers Pune local chapter for inviting me as a guest speaker. I'm a certified energy auditor and practitioner since 2006. Total years of experience so far is 15 years. I've worked in Thermax, Kirloskar Oil Engines, Suzlon, JP Mukherjee and Associates. Also, I was heading business department in one of the consultancy. That is what about me. I have also been actively conducting energy audit and energy auditor exam guidance and its courses for various sectors. So let us see few news that has recently come. First is, yes, all these are clippings from yesterday's newspaper, Times of India. Biden vows to cut emissions by as much as 52% by 2030. Second, we also know that in Nashik we had unforeseen incidents wherein oxygen pressure has gone low and 22 people have died in that. With that, PMC is taking some proactive measures to have audits of oxygen systems in hospitals. Third news is PM that our Prime Minister is taking steps towards sustainable energy and energy conservation. Why do we need all this? We have already exhausted lots of our fossil fuels and we are on the verge of depleting all the resources. What is law of conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, although it may be transferred from one form to another. Then why to save energy? Energy saving reduces cost of production and increases profit of company. Primary energy deposits are very limited and replenishment rate is very slow than the consumption. Coal, oil, fossil fuels, natural gas are primary energy sources and sunlight cannot be directly used. Primary energy sources need conversion and it involves efficiency factors. Energy saving will contribute towards betterment of the mankind while addressing above issues along with increasing the profit. Let us see the trend of energy usage. Why there is a grave need of saving energy is we can see 33% of energy utilization is from industry. This figure has been taken from the website. Transportation utilizes 28% of energy. Commercial is 18% and residential is 21%. In industry, there are different types of industry which are energy intensive industries and they are utilizing energy extensively. This is domestic energy consumption percentage, wherein we can see major chunk is taken by air conditioning and heating. If we utilize better equipment for air conditioning and heating, we can save lots of energy. TV and other media equipments, lighting is 11%, TV is hardly 1%. Different appliances like washing machine and fridge, fans, those are 16%. Water heating is also major chunk, that is 17%, second after air conditioning and heating. How can we save energy? What are the energy saving methods? First is energy policy. Energy policy is a document or set of regulations that include strategies and steps to be taken for energy saving. There are several standards based on which energy policies are made. For example, ISO 5001, a standard made for energy management purposes, has the following features: making energy policy for efficient use of energy, setting targets and objectives for policy, data review for better understanding, result measurements, reviewing policy and improving policy. Secondly, we can do energy audits. Who can do energy audits, that we will see it later. But what is energy audit is and how it is helping is energy audit helps in finding out the power losses due to different equipment, also the areas where most of the power is consumed, and what steps are required to be taken in order to reduce power consumption without affecting the production is energy audit. How it is done, it can be walkthrough audit, in which it consists of analyzing the overall area of major and minor loads, and it can be performed by a number of staffs, shifts, and internal persons or external persons also. The results through these audits can be like replacing old CFL lights with LED or reducing the number of switches per luminaries, etc. And detailed audit. The detailed audit, it includes data collection, bills comparison, losses due to equipment, replacing old equipments with new, then calculating the payback period, taking major steps that need a different facility, power factor corrections, and offering energy intensive incentives to employees to show responsibility towards it. Usage of renewable energy such as wind, solar, efficient lighting. The use of efficient lighting such as LED lights, lighting controls through sensors, using electric ballast, power factor correction. Power factor correction will give useful work, and it is generally associated with rotating equipments, which is known as active power. It is performed that reactive power should be less, and power factor correction measurements shall be taken using capacitors. Housekeeping and maintenance plan. So proper housekeeping and maintenance will surely reduce the energy losses. Cogeneration and combined cycle. Utilization of cogeneration using exhaust heat for the purpose of heating or cooling. There are many industries out there, they have a heating and cooling process. So instead of wasting the heat of exhaust, it can be utilized to generate electricity or provide heating somewhere else. Like we have heat recovery steam generator, which is used with turbine exhaust, or HVAC system, heating and cooling and HVAC system. So maintaining HVAC system also will reduce lots of load, as we have seen around 40-45% of electricity in domestic is utilized by HVAC systems. Load management, like time of the day tariff is there for industries, so they can manage the loads according to the utilization. If they use machineries, heavy duty machineries in the night time, they can surely save the on energy bills. Let us see who will regulate all these things. What is Bureau of Energy Efficiency and its portfolio, and what are the roles of BE, that is Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It is a government body, and function of BE is to process and uh, produce energy consumption standard, and it requires to be notified. It does labeling of certain equipment that requires some input of energy along with the prescription about the display and standard upon such labels. It does star rating. In addition to this, the Bureau, according to its function under the laws, has taken suitable steps to train train the people. It also conduct the energy auditor exam, promote research and development in the field of energy efficiency. It develops good testing and certification procedures. It promotes use of energy efficient processes, equipments, devices, and systems. It promotes innovative financing of energy efficiency projects. So this is overall portfolio of Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Who will conduct energy audit and who can be energy auditor? Let us see that. So who can be energy auditor is, it has to be a graduate engineer or postgraduate engineer with 3 or 2 years of experience respectively in energy, in operation, maintenance and planning. A graduate engineer or with postgraduate degree in management with equivalent 2 years of experience. Here they meant is BE with MBA or BE with any master's course in management with 2 years of experience in relevant field can be energy auditors. Who can be energy manager is a graduate with 3 years of experience, postgraduate with 2 years of experience, graduate with postgraduate in management with 2 years of experience, a diploma engineer or equivalent with 6 years of experience. Here is a difference between energy auditor and energy manager qualification. In energy auditor, they have not mentioned the diploma engineer, but in energy manager, they have mentioned diploma engineer with 6 years of experience. And lastly, a postgraduate in physics or electronics or chemistry with 3 years of experience involving use of energy in operation and maintenance and planning. So here lies the difference between energy auditor and manager qualification. What are the different papers they have to appear? You all or few of you must be knowing or must have already applied for energy auditor or energy manager examination, but still I'm trying to repeat it for benefit of all, that these examination consist of 4 papers. Paper 1 is general aspects of energy management and energy audit, which is of 3 hours, and maximum marks is 150, out of which one has to secure 50% marks to qualify the exam. It includes energy scenario, commercial, non-commercial energy, primary energy sources, restructuring of energy supply sector, energy strategy for future, Energy Conservation Act 2001 and its feature, basics of energy and its various forms, energy management and audit and its definitions, need and types, material and energy balance, energy action planning, key elements, force field analysis, energy policy, purpose, its perspective, contents, formulation, rectification, and organizing, financial management, project management, definition, scope of the project, technical design, financing contracting, implementation and performance of monitoring. So it takes care of all the aspects of energy management. It also takes care of global environmental concerns, that is United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change, UNFCCC, Sustainable Development, Kyoto Protocol, Conference of Parties, COP, Clean Development Mechanism, CDM, Prototype, Carbon Fund, PCF, etc. Paper 2. So paper 2 is energy efficiency in thermal utilities. Duration is 3 hours, maximum marks will be 150. It includes mainly mechanical systems, fuels and combustion, what are different types of boilers, different combustion systems, its losses, steam systems, their properties of steam, assessment of steam distribution and its losses, then furnaces, classification, general fuel economy, majors in furnace, insulation and refractories, selection and application of refractories, heat loss, FBC boilers, fluidized bed combustion, boilers, retrofitting, advantages and disadvantages of FBC boilers, energy saving potential, cogeneration, definitions, need, application, advantage, classification, saving potential, waste heat recovery, classification, advantages and application, commercial viable, waste heat recovery devices, and saving potential. So mainly paper 2 consists of all the thermal utilities that are used in industries, and it is taking major utilization of energy. So major saving can be done in thermal utilities. Paper 3 mainly focuses on energy efficiency in electrical utilities. It consists of different electrical systems, electricity billing, electrical load management, maximum demand control, power factor improvements, and its benefits. It also takes care of electrical motors, different types, losses in induction motors, motor efficiency, energy efficient motors, then compressors, compressed air systems, We have seen that in yesterday's incidents that happened at Virar, Mumbai, the compressor failed and there was a fire that happened. So it is really important to see health of all these equipments, though it is mechanical or electrical. So different types of compressors, energy efficient compressors, its operations, HVAC and refrigeration system, vapor absorption refrigeration system, that is VAM, fans and blowers, pump and pumping system, types and performances of pumps, evaluation for saving the energy, energy efficient pumps, cooling towers, different lighting systems, diesel generating systems, energy efficient technologies in electrical systems. So that is all about paper 3. Now paper 4. Paper 4 is energy performance assessment for equipment and utility systems. I have put paper 4 in red color. There is a purpose behind it. Let us see what is in paper 4 first. It is an open book examination on the following energy performance assessment for equipment and utility system. It is mainly numerical paper. 80 marks is based on numerical examples. It includes boilers, furnaces, cogeneration, turbines, heat exchanger, electrical motors, variable speed drives, fans, blowers, water pumps, compressors, HVAC systems, lighting systems, performing financial analysis, application of non-conventional and energy sources, waste minimization and resource conservation. So it's mainly numerical paper. It is of 2 hours and 100 marks. There is a difference between certified energy auditor and energy manager examination, that energy auditor will give all 4 papers, and to qualify energy manager exam the person shall appear only for 3 papers: paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. Degree of difficulty for paper 4 applicable for certified energy auditors only. It is comparatively difficult because it is all numerical. Only 20 marks is um, subject its objectives, and 80 marks will be problem solving. Paper 4 for energy auditor is open book exams and mainly numerical. They can refer to the book that is given by BE, and no other books will be allowed. If somebody is not able to appear for all the papers or not able to clear, then they can rewrite the exam, and there will be 3 attempts in 6 years. Also, one has to secure 50% mark in each rewritten papers. Validity of certificate: there is no expiry of this certificate. However, one has to complete a refresher course once in 5 years period, and it will be announced by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. It will be available in different cities, and one has to do that and send a certificate to Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Can the certificate be revoked? Yes, the certificate can be revoked. If somebody is doing malpractices, then it can be revoked by Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Which all are the examination centers? There are many examination centers all over India, and that was the reason this year that the exam got postponed, because in Bengal the elections were scheduled, and in March the prior dates were scheduled in March, but because of the um, elections in Bengal, the whole examination dates have been postponed to May. So the proposed centers are Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Bhopal, Bhubaneswar, Chandigarh, Chennai, Cochin, Dehradun, Delhi, Goa, Guwahati, Hyderabad, Jabalpur, Jaipur, Kanpur, Kolkata, Mumbai, Nagpur, Patna, Pune, Raipur, Ranchi, Tiruvananthapuram, and Vadodara. So all this information you will also get it on Energy Efficiency, Bureau of Energy Efficiency's website, or AIP or National Productivity Council's website. Upgradation from energy manager to energy auditor is quite possible. So one has to clear the last paper and fulfill the eligibility of energy auditor certification. This year's examination schedule is like this: the 22nd May 2021 there will be two papers. One is paper 1 and another paper 2. The same day two papers will happen. And on 23rd of May there will be two papers, paper 3 and paper 4. This is the fees schedule that is also given in Bureau of Energy Efficiency's website. So as per your eligibility and requirement, different fees will be applicable for different purposes. Now main thing is, what are the opportunities as an energy auditor and energy manager? So what are the opportunities as an energy auditor or energy manager? There are several opportunities for energy auditors and managers, but one has to practice and one should know the details of different utilities. Those are being used in-house. Though you are uh, electrical engineer or mechanical engineer or any other engineers, you should also have interdisciplinary knowledge. It's not that you have just cleared the exam and you will get hundreds of opportunities ahead of you, but you must also practice energy audit, and you should also have detailed knowledge of systems such as boilers, steam systems, turbines, cooling towers. If you are working in power plant, you must know all the utilities and how these functions and where we can save the energy. So unless you have good experience, you should not also think to start something of your own. One must practice first and then try to go all alone or to start their consultancy firms. But there are a number of opportunities that includes in-house energy auditing team, working in ISO implementation, green building design and consultancy, BE empaneled energy auditor. For BE empanelment, one has to complete 5 different energy audits, and one should submit 5 different reports to BE, and there will be interview followed by that. Once it is cleared, then one can become BE empaneled energy auditor, and the person should also have some association with consultancy firms for the instruments that are used for energy audit, or he or she themselves should have those instruments with them. There is lots of investment included in becoming empaneled energy auditor, and if you want to start all on your own, cost optimization in manufacturing, one can work in green building design. In energy audit consultancy firm, there are opportunities. PAT audit under government schemes. Also, one can work in designated consumer employment. Who are designated consumers? As per Energy Conservation Act 2001, the energy intensive industries are called as designated consumers, and those designated consumers, it is mandatory to appoint energy auditor or energy manager who have completed BE examination. They should conduct energy audit yearly and submit the report, and they should also comply with the prescribed energy consumption norms. I was just checking different opportunities as an energy auditor or manager. I had just Googled and I found that on LinkedIn there are 58 jobs regarding energy audit, or the job titles are such as energy efficiency analyst, energy researcher, renewable energy consultant, energy modeling analyst. Naukri I found 13. Simply Hired I found 98. Indeed I found 98 jobs all over India. However, these jobs maybe these are sets or subsets of each other. So on an average, there are 50 to 60 jobs there consistently in this field, which are these are people which are recruited from outside. However, there are tremendous opportunity to have uh, internal movement in your companies if you already have jobs and working in this field. Education, people are looking for education of mechanical or electrical. with strong interest in design and environmentally sustainable structures. People are also looking for lead and IGBC and Griha and demonstrated proficiency in Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is tremendously used for this auditing thing. One should also be well versed with VLOOKUPs, pivot tables, regressions. Experience, people are asking for 1 to 2 years of experience. However, unless you have minimum 2 years of experience with master's degree, you cannot appear energy auditor's exam or energy manager's exam. So minimum experience criteria you all must be fulfilling if you are willing to be a certified energy auditor or manager. So for experience matter, one can fulfill all the experience. However, people are also looking for additional skills like use of R or Python languages or programming languages for data handling and load shapes. So these are all opportunities in energy auditors and manager. This is all from my end. So I would request Narendra sir, who is also actively working in this field, to guide more upon the opportunities on energy auditors and managers. Thank you. Thank you very much.